Thank you for having me. I am very glad to be here with you in this conference. And frankly, we should say that in Saudi Arabia, it's a state which doesn't respect human rights and promoting the principles of human rights. This is a perspective from a faraway attorney and an activist, but let me tell you that I'm really glad to actually discover and unveil the civil community in Saudi Arabia, the Saudi brothers and sisters who are trying to organize themselves on respecting human rights and calling for human rights and the international commitments which are actually responsible before the international and the national NGOs. First of all, let me tell you that what we read or what we see in Saudi Arabia doesn't really differ from other Arab states. Probably these states with their petroleum revenues and their many wealths, which kept a lot of poor people and they made them poor. Especially, they made them really busy from asking their rights and the dignity for human rights, children rights, women rights, the right to gather, the right to convene. I believe that the states around the world, whether they were European or American states or great states as they usually use, we can find how they structure their institutions and their people to have an economic luxury, to reach a political welfare and democracy, which keeps the Arab states. I'm sorry, I can't hear him anymore. So as for the European Union, as you all know, there is an agreement between the European Union and some states of Northern Africa on the economy, the trade, the political aspects, and the good neighboring. However, the other implications or the second article of this agreement states that this agreements or conventions between the European Union and the Northern African countries won't be executed unless democracy and human rights were respected. This article, of course, isn't just respected by the European Union, in addition to the massive amounts of money which are sent by the Saudi Arabia, Egypt, from all the Arab states to the Swiss banks, to the French banks, or the English banks. This is a very tough issue with the people of these Arab states. So as I've heard from the speakers, and they are very thankful for their activism and their faith in this issue. So we have the torture issue. We can find it in all the Arab states. Also, the execution. There are some countries which would use the execution in a vast way, and other countries would use the execution. They would issue the execution and they won't actually implement it. And also we have the coercive disappearance, which is against human rights. So all the Arab states, including Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the different Arab states, actually suffer this problem. The arbitrary detention, the unjust judicial trials, the women human rights issue. We have all of these issues in all the Arab states. So let's stop here to say that we are all equal in these problems that we are facing. Before these Arab rule, we are equal. So let's ask this question. These tyrant rules, which are centralized, which are solidified today, although I don't wish that this is the case, probably that the civil society for this Arab state isn't cooperating altogether. They are not doing enough advocacy. They are not tackling the issues which are really violating the human rights. They are not cooperating in these issues together. Probably Amnesty International or FIDH or the different NGOs, through enrolling in them, cooperating with them, advocacy before the United Nations Council, the European Union, and also the European Union Council, the European Parliament, in addition to the European states, which we can see when we see that France is among the main funding agents for Saudi Arabia for the arms. Also, we can notice that in Algeria as for Russia, similar wise for Morocco as for the USA. And also we have this Lebanon when it comes to France. So if we worked all together, we cooperated all together to advocate before the international agencies, which I have previously mentioned, or before the states, why don't we work side by side all together and unified campaigns of advocacy between Lebanon, Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco and other states, because at the end, the international opinion must know that the peoples of these countries are actually being treated unjustly, and there are no legal mechanism which allows the individual to, or even to communities and their own, to live in dignity, safely, and in good welfare, because welfare isn't just about money. It's about thoughts, the freedom, and also access to justice. So why don't we think about a unified campaign for the Arab states to say here, say before the European states or USA or what they are referred to as democratic states, so then you're no much democratic than these Arab states rules. Thank you.